Hello everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay. Let's start with today's training. Today our training is going to be on the entire section of dynamic experiences. So dynamic images, they feature variable text, images and QR codes, and they are a game changer in enhancing personalization, boosting engagement and improving conversion rates across various applications. So there are various use cases for dynamic experiences and they are useful in various industries. Here are some examples so that they can be useful for personalized promotions, certificates and rewards, customized webinar or event banners, booking confirmations, tickets and passes, promotional offers, wedding invitations, and corporate or exhibition invitations. You can personalize all your images while sending them to customers, and this can increase the efficiency of the conversation rate a lot. So, today's session is divided into various sections. We will start by learning how to create a dynamic image experience. So, one point to note in this section is that the maximum file size for your background image can be only 500 KB. So, let's go to our platform. Okay, so here on the panel, we will go to dynamic experiences. Click on create new experience. You can edit the name of the experience that you are creating from here. So we will simply click on this pencil icon and I can write a name here. So for example, let's create a dynamic image for voucher now and then click on tick mark. Next, we will start by adding a background image. So this can be of 500 KB only, maximum size is 500 KB. Now once the background image is added, you can add more layers here. So you can add more components. So when I click on add component, I can add image, text and QR code. Now these are the components that can be variable. So let's take a QR code and a text block as well. Now, let's start by editing one of them. So, when I click on this particular QR code and click on the edit icon, here I can edit the QR content, QR code color. So, first to enter QR content and to enter the variable text or image, we have to add variables. So, for that, we will go to personalization and click on add variable. So, first variable name can be for name. And fallback is if there is nothing stored in name or whatever the variable you are entering, this fallback text will go there. So let's keep this name. I'm adding another variable for the QR code. So this can be just QR code. And here I can actually enter some QR code link as well. For now, I'm writing this as QR code. Now, when I go to components, let's also add an image component here. Now we have already added the three possible components here. We can change their placements by simply dragging them, clicking on them and dragging them. Now when we click on the edit icon here, simply map a variable here. We can set the opacity, width, height and border color and border width from here. Now let's go to QR component. So when I click on the QR and click on the edit icon, in QR content, I select this variable because I want this to be a dynamic QR code. We can set QR code color from here. So let's take a red color. QR background can also be changed. So I can keep it black or anything. I can select anything from here. But for now, let's keep this white only. You can also set margin from here. So as it is 2 right now, if I change this to 4, this margin uh, will change. So let's keep this as 3 right now. You can change the width and height. So basically the size. You can also drag it from here to change the size, or you can change it from this option. So let's keep this 365 and let's keep the height also 365. You can change border color from here. So first, let's change the border width so that we can actually see the change. So for example, if my border width is, just a minute, okay, and let's change border color. Okay, we can edit the QR code like this. If we want to clone the same component, I can use this second icon. If I want to change the placing of the layer, so for example, if I have a text on the QR code and I want that the text should be backward, then I can simply click on this plus icon. This means that take one step forward. So QR code will be visible, but the text block will be behind the QR code. Okay. And now if I reverse this, then text block will be visible on it. And if I want to delete any component, I can delete directly from here. Now let's customize the text block. So again, when I click on the text block and click on the edit icon, I can enter the content here. As I want this to be a variable, I will select variable from here. Now this is my text block. I can change the size by simply dragging this, and I can place it, or I can also directly change the width and height from here. So for example, if this is, let's say 370 and height is 165. Again, we can change the font color from here. So you can take any color from here. You can enter any font name also if you want to change the font. You can enter the font size directly here. So for example, let's make this 70. I can either bold it or also use italics. You can set font alignment from here. So this can be from the left, center alignment, or from the right. So let's keep this in center for now. You can also set the vertical alignment. So this, if you want the name to be on the upward side for center, and if you want it to be on the downward side. So let's keep center alignment for this as well. And I'll simply drag this block below the QR code and extend its width a little so that if people's names are, are larger, then they fit in this block. Next, again, we have border here. So if I increase the border width to, let's say 2, and let's change the border color here. So here you can see that I have I have changed the border color and added a border. So let me change this back to white only, and I simply remove the border width for now. So whenever you have to create a dynamic image, you click on create new experience. You can change your experience name from here. You will start by adding a background image first. The maximum size of the background image can be 500 KB only. Then you will start by adding components. Components can be image, text, and QR code. Now, these are the things that can be variable in your image. Next, you go to personalization and add the variables that you want to use. You can also set variable fallbacks. So in case the variable is empty, the fallback will be sent in place of it. Then, after you have added the components, you can simply click on them and click on the edit icon to change their settings. Now, let's save this image. So this was the first part about how to create a dynamic experience. Now our next section is how to send dynamic images in bulk via campaigns. So let's take a very common example. In this, I have already created a dynamic image for invites. Let me show you first. So this is our already created dynamic invite image. And here we have taken text as component in which we will send name to people. Now to send a bulk campaign with dynamic image, you will also need an pre-approved image template. So I have a image template here which I will use now. So let's go to bulk campaigns, create new campaign, WhatsApp campaign. We will create a messaging campaign, version 2, campaign name can be invite. Now after selecting the audience, we will select channel. My message type will be pre-approved template and this should be our image template. So let's take wedding invite dynamic. Here, in here under header image variable name, we will select dynamic. We can select image experience from this drop down. So this will be invite and I can map the variable which was in the dynamic image experience here. So let's map chat name. And my body variable is again name. So I'll again map chat name. Next, and I can simply save this campaign and trigger it. So to send dynamic images via bulk messages, we have to use the image template. And when we upload the image, we have to use dynamic instead of static. Now the next section is how to send dynamic image in a bot flow. So I have taken a basic use case for this one. So let's go to bot builder first. Now I have a bot created for feedback. So what happens here is that as soon as a user enters the bot, we are asking them for feedback, 5-star, 4-star, or average, and then replying them according to their response. Now, if the user is selecting 5-star or 4-star, we are creating a new QR code. This is generated from the Tickets app, and we are sending dynamic QR codes to users. So, first, when I have added create new QR, I have created an authentication for my Ticketspot app, entered event ID here, and when I run and save this, I get a response in which I have the QR code generated. So as this will be different for each people, for each person. As soon as a person gives me a review, I'm sending them a coupon code which they can use. So after create new QR, as a dynamic QR is generated here, next I will simply select send message, image message. Here again, while selecting image, we will select dynamic. I can select image experience from the drop down. So this one will be voucher. Under name, I can simply map name from the custom fields.
थोड़ा सा
And under QR code,
Avi, once you complete this, make a small bot, trigger keyword anything, then a welcome message, and in the welcome message, the image header, and with that, the dynamic experience of the name. Okay, because
okay,
right now some agencies are new in the call, so they might not understand the tickets QR part. So a
okay,
smaller and easier experience would be better to teach them.
okay. So here, once the image is selected as dynamic, we will select the image experience from the drop down. And again, we will map the variables from here. So name is taken from custom field. And under QR code, we are using the QR code content generated here. You can also enter a caption text with the image and then save. So now let's take another example for this dynamic image in Botflow. So here I am creating another Botflow with a triggered keyword. Now here, as soon as the user enters my bot or the bot is triggered, I'm sending them a welcome message with a dynamic image, and that image can contain their name. So for example, if I use send message here, text message, this will be image. Now here, while entering the image, I will use dynamic. I can select image experience from here. So for now, let's just take invite, and we can map the name of the user from custom fields here. And the caption text can be welcome to, let's say, XYZ, something like that. So whenever a user is entering a bot, they can receive dynamic welcome messages as well. So this was the bot part. In this, we simply select the image message block, and when we have to upload the image, we use dynamic instead of static and select image from the drop down and map the variables that we want in it. Now let's move to the next section. Next is how to generate image dynamically from webhook and send to user via WhatsApp. So for this, let's go to Automation Builder. Now again, this can be used in many ways. So for example, let's take a basic example that whenever someone is filling a form regarding some survey, I want to send them a certificate whenever they submit a form or any other way so that whenever the person is completing something, maybe some course, you want to send them a certificate with their name and your company's name, then we can use Automation Builder here. You can simply bring that data to webhook. So I have already run this webhook with name, company name, and number so that we can use this as a example. Now for this also, we will need a template message as the user is not initiating a message and the session window might not be open. So we are again using an image template here. So I have created an image template for dynamic certificate. So congratulations, we have successfully completed automation score. And I have also created a dynamic experience beforehand for this. So this is the certificate one. Okay. So this is the dynamic experience created. Here we have just used text as components. We have also changed their colors and we have added variables for name and company name. So in the automation builder, whenever you get data, whenever you get data on your webhook. The next step will be dynamic image generator. Here, you can simply click on create image experience, generate image experience. We will select the image experience already created from the drop down. So this will be certificate. We will map the variables here. So I will simply map name and company name here and run and save. So when I run and save this, I can see that our image is generated with the variables specified. So we will save this. In the next block, we will use CRM, send template message. We will select the channel, select an image template that should be prepared beforehand. We can again map the WhatsApp number from the webhook data received. And under header variable, as this is image, we will simply map this data. Under generate image experience, we will get this data. Now this is the dynamic image that is generated for this particular customer. And body variable will be the ones that we have in our template. So in this case, this is name. Now we can simply save this and save the workflow. So whenever you have to generate a dynamic image and send from automations, you can use custom webhook. If you can bring data, you can bring any data to custom webhook, then you can simply use generate image experience to create a dynamic image. Here, you will simply select the image experience from drop down and map the variables that are in the image. And in the next message, you will use send template message, which will be an image template, and you can map the image header from the dynamic image generated in the previous block. So this was all about dynamic experiences. If you have any doubts, you can ask.
Experiences are used where you want to change a component on the image in general. So if you want to have image sent to a user with variable QR code, so each user gets a different QR code, or and a name on the image, or maybe an address on the image that you want to change while sending it via bot automation or bulk messaging. At that place, dynamic images are used.